来ています。あちこち工事中で再開発が進んでいるようです。大手会計事務所デロイトのオフィスが入ったビルです。
Sitting in front of my computer 11 o'clock at night, and I'm trying to send an email to the three the big senior partners in the organisation, saying that I simply couldn't face coming into work the next day. And for me, this was, I couldn't believe how I'd got into this position. And I'm the sort of guy who, I don't think I'd had a day off sick for 10, 15 years, And I can remember it was like 10 o'clock trying to send the email, thinking, no, I can't say that, I can't say that. And then 11 o'clock, no, perhaps I can write it this way, or can I write it that way. 12, 1, got to 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can always remember, I'm going to send this email saying I don't feel right, there's something wrong, I can't face coming into work. Press the button, and initially I had a feeling of relief, because I thought, thank God I've told someone about this. But after about 10 minutes, that was followed by a wave of absolute despair, because I was in a bad place anyway. I suddenly then thought, what have you just now done? You've now just told the three people who are the most important for your future career that you can't do your job anymore. And I went into a wave of further despair, thought that my career would be finished, thought that my life was not worth living.
Did it happen suddenly at that night, or did you?
I can remember sitting in a room like this, and I was the partner who was responsible for a big account, the Department for Transport in the UK, and we were trying to set up an account meeting, and my account manager was saying, who should we invite? And this is a regular meeting, every 2 months, it will be to discuss what we should. And after about an hour and a half, I still couldn't decide who to invite. Oh, we should invite some. Oh no, hang on, what about, we should invite Fred. Oh no, we better not invite. And he was looking at me like this, thinking, come on, John, this is just a meeting. So that is an example of how, as one gets into a very bad place, the simple decisions become difficult. And that is an example as to why it's so important that people are prepared to talk about this kind of thing. Because actually, if I'd have got help 18 months, recognised what the problem was, recognised that something wasn't right, not being scared to talk about it, been in a culture where it was okay to talk about it, I would have got some help. And I absolutely know that early help works. There was no need for me to be in front of the computer, not being able to sell. There was no need for me to have that 3 months off. Much better for Deloitte, much better for me. But no one talked about mental health. I didn't recognise the symptoms in me. Others didn't recognise it. So we just keep going on, hoping you'll feel better tomorrow.
You went to see the doctor?
I did go and see a doctor at that point. But interestingly, and this often happens with men in the UK, because men find it harder to talk about how they're feeling about things. They often don't go to the doctor to talk about depression. Most men present to the doctor with some physical symptom, and that's exactly. And I've learned a lot of this stuff afterwards, but that's exactly what I did. So I went to the doctor because I had become very anxious about, and I'd been to the doctor a couple of weeks before the email incident, with a mole. I'm thinking maybe this is a melanoma, maybe this mole is cancerous. Okay, so I went to talk to the doctor. Could you look? He looked at it, went, that's fine. And I kept trying to talk about the mole. Yes, but you see, you look at this mole, it's changed, I'm worried about it. And he heard me about what was happening, and he was much more. He wasn't worried about the mole at all, but he was very worried about the way I was talking, and he realised that I was in a very bad way with depression. And he was the first person who said, "I think you might have got depression. You need to see a psychiatrist. You need to start thinking about it."
You took your time off, and how did you recover with after the?
Yeah. Well, the recovery for me was kind of two strands to it. One was the positive way that I was treated by Deloitte, and that's hugely important. And I mentioned that when I talked to you earlier. So people when you suffer with depression, your self-esteem becomes very low. That's why there's often this kind of suicide risk associated with it, because you feel that you're unable to function, you feel worthless, and therefore one key part of my recovery was that very positive messaging, where I was expecting to be told that, John, you can't see how you can get back to doing what you've done before, so let's talk about what your exit package is. I remember one partner here saying, what we want is John Binns up and running like he used to be before, and we really want that to happen again, and it doesn't have to be tomorrow, and it doesn't have to be in the next 6 months. Let's just talk about what it is that we need to do to make that happen. And I thought, wow, what? So that, I know, speeded up my recovery, just that positive messaging of treating me as valuable, senior, treating me as someone whose opinion was important about the way in which that reintegration should take place. The second thing is CBT. The power of thinking about the way in which you can change the way you think in relation to events and stress, and to recognise that there are some very unhealthy ways in which one starts to think, and that as one gets under stress, one magnifies those unhealthy ways of thinking, and realising that you can do something about that, and using cognitive, what it's called cognitive behavioural therapy, your rational mind to help yourself think in a different way was very, very, very powerful. So a mixture of kind of what the firm was saying, getting access to talking therapy, and being able to have just some time away from everything going on in order to just reset and reframe what I was thinking with the key things.
Maybe there are more people who suffers.
Well, yeah. I mean, what is really interesting is that the reason why people don't want to talk about this is because they fear that they will be judged as being weak and not being able to cope, and that's, in the city environment, the key reason why people stay quiet. What's becoming more recognised and is very helpful to the discussion is actually the risks associated with the mental health issue are almost the other side of the coin of a bunch of traits. For instance, the kind of person who is often at risk in this environment from suffering from mental health will be someone who is highly ambitious, is someone who is finds it hard to say no, so always says yes to stuff, who cares very much about the outcome of things. If you put in brackets after that too much, you start to see where the risk is. And once people start to understand that actually you can talk about some of this as the risk of being a high flyer, they become more prepared to talk about it, because that's absolutely the case.
Very big change of concept.
Yeah, once you think about this, this is the curse of the strong, and examples in history. In the UK, Winston Churchill regarded as being, the great leader, and blah blah blah. suffered from depression.